In general, we want to keep a hand that has turn 2 Arbiter on the play, even though it doesn't have a 1-drop. Well, there, okay. If we're on the draw, this hand would have been even better. Get that vial. So, we could just play the vial late. I mean, getting it down on turn 2 is almost as good as turn 1. It loses value the more turns we wait, but turn 2 Arbiter can just shut the opponent down sometimes if they just have like a bunch of fetch lands in hand. And there's not a lot of removal outside of Path to Exile that they can cast off a Shambling Vent, so we just went with the Arbiter there. Now here I think we want to go Vial into Thalia. I think that's the play. We want to continue to disrupt the opponent's mana development between the Arbiter and the Thalia. We want to get this Vial online too. Okay. So, oh, we actually have both of our basics already. How about that? That doesn't come up very often. In my build, a lot of times I run a third basic for scenarios like that when the opponent has Path to Exile type cards in their deck. Not this time though. I just went with Brandon's mana base. Obviously not to blame him. But I do like the third basic. Usually a forest. In this build I like plains because you have Flicker Wisp. Otherwise it's a forest for Scavenging Ooze. I guess I'll eat the opponent's path. Now that they know we're out of basics, this is free reign for the Path to Exiles. Ooh, that one's good. Now we're going to do a little trick that I like to do with Ether Vial, is to activate it in spots where we don't actually have something, so that when we do have something, the opponent's not just going to know. Because if we only activate it when we're about to put a creature into play, then it's like, whenever we activate it, they're like, okay, well he's doing something. So then they'll respond appropriately. It's mostly about, the poker term is called balancing your range. So that's basically what we're doing. We're keeping the opponent guessing in spots where we can do that. So here we're going to play a 2-drop and we're going to vial in to play a 2-drop. The question is which one we want to do. I think we want to get the Scavenging Ooze online, but I think we can vial that into play. I think the Arbiter is less likely to attack, so we'll just play that first. We left the green open so we can activate the Ooze to eat our Thalia. Rhino. Siege Rhinoceros. Called it. So here I think we're going to vial in the Pride Mage and then take it up to 3. We're probably going to put our Angel into play next turn off it. Because when we hit our 4th land, we want to start attacking with the Wildwood, assuming we can get through this Rhino somehow. If we draw another Pride Mage or a Noble Hierarch, we could actually just attack into the Rhino with the Ooze this turn. Okay, or if we draw a Path to Exile, we could also attack into it. I think we want to attack into Liliana because the opponent's at 18. And because of Arbiter, they don't get to search. It's just straight up same thing that the opponent's been doing to us. Now, we get to attack Liliana as a 4/4 Exalted Ooze. Eventually. These Jund to Abzan matchups are generally pretty solid. We're not like a big favorite, but I definitely feel like I like it from the Hatebears side better generally. This game's pretty close. It could definitely go either way. So we're certainly far from out of the woods. Okay, that's another Siege Rhino. Definitely doesn't make things easier. We'll see what we can do with this Angel. And since the opponent is a deck with Liliana, they're very likely a Tarmogoyf deck, so we just want to start eating things from the graveyard at any opportunity. Doing the opponent's graveyard first, because they could have Grim Flayer too. So we could sacrifice a creature to kill Liliana. I guess we're not even really sacrificing a creature, because whatever one he blocks, we could just blink it with the Angel. And I don't think it's worth holding up Stirring Wildwood mana, because I mean, if the opponent wants to attack, great, attack. I don't need to block, make her take 2 life for that. I'll just take 4 from combat. Like, we want the Rhino to be tapped. So I think we got player land tapped. Attack with, I guess, the Ooze can attack the opponent, and the Arbiter and the Pride Mage can attack Liliana. Does that make sense? I guess then he blocks the Ooze, which is not what we want, because it has a counter on it. It would lose its counter. I guess we just stack both at Liliana. And I'll go ahead and eat it. No shenanigans. Okay. More Lilianas. Sacks a creature. So the opponent plays a fetch land and then has a sack a creature. It's interesting. So in general, at this stage in the game, the Arbiter is the least effective card, but the opponent played a fetch first. So the Arbiter is clearly doing some work. We get to eat something. We get to eat the creature we sacrifice with the Ooze. It's obviously not going to be the Angel. That's our best creature. It's not going to be the Ooze because that's our second best creature. The Pride Mage grants Exalted, which can make the Ooze into a 5/5, which can attack into the Rhino. The Arbiter, I think we still sacrifice the Arbiter, even though the opponent has a fetch. The Arbiter is really good early at just like potentially locking the opponent onto like very few lands, just making it to where they don't even get to play Magic. But at this stage, the opponent has like 4 or 5 lands where it's just not quite as effective. And there's Tarmogoyf. You're off for the trade. You are offering the trade. Don't think I do it though. I'm not going to take the bait. Just gain a life. Take 4. Now we have no 5 drops. We're going to say always no, always yield. That was another good one. So we definitely want to target the Rhino. We're not concerned about the Goyf because of our Ooze. I think I want to attack the Angel at Liliana and the other 2 at the opponent. I don't want to attack the Wildwood yet. I'd rather eat the Graveyard and Path to Exile the Rhino. I could attack the Pride Mage into Liliana and the other 2 at the opponent. That's another reasonable line. Then the opponent probably chomps with Goyf, which I think we're okay with because Liliana only takes up to 2. We could still kill her next turn. I think I'll do that actually. Liliana, opponent, opponent. So he wants to chump block the Tarmogoyf. Like, I know it's not doing much. That might be the best thing it does is keep Liliana around for a turn, but yeah, he doesn't. So opponent takes 7, we kill Liliana. And that's it. We're gonna wait, we're gonna path the Rhino in the opponent's turn. Maybe they'll activate the vents and try to do something crazy. Yeah, they're activating the vent. They're gonna try to race us, because we have like this angel that's hitting them. So we're gonna try to gain some life and go for a race. Alright, activate vent in position. I think he did that in the wrong order. But we're definitely going to path in response. We're going to target the Rhino. Alright, so let's eat some stuff. We have instant, land, planeswalker, sorcery. So we can eat 3 things. We'll eat the opponent's 3 things. Shrink this Goyf down. Is a 1/2, so we take 3. Opponent gains 2. Now we can attack for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Puts the opponent to 3. I don't think I want to be that aggressive. I think I want to attack with... I could attack for 9. No, I think I want to do some graveyard eating too. So maybe I'll just attack with one creature. I'll just attack with the Scavenging Ooze here. I think we're far enough ahead where basically not trying to kill the opponent in 2 turns, but doing it in 3 turns. Makes sense. I don't know why I didn't play the Temple Guard. I meant to play it tapped. And we are going to continue to eat the graveyards because of Tarmogoyf. That's it. Opponent concedes. So this matchup, we don't want Gaddock Teague. Doesn't have enough uses. Liliana doesn't really have much use. Kitchen Finks is good. Scavenging Ooze is good. Dismember can kill a Rhino, so that could be good. Sunlance has some targets. If they have like Dark Confidant, it can be pretty reasonable, but in general, it's not really what we want. Stony Silence, definitely not. Rest in Peace has a lot of utility. It can deal with the Lingering Souls. It can deal with it makes all the Tarmogoyf 0/1s. If they have Grim Flayers, keeps them at 2/2s. It does a lot of pretty cool things. They can't rebuy things with the Liliana Last Hope. Let's see. So Pride Mage doesn't have enough targets, so that can come out. I like Thalia against Abzan, but not against Jund because of Lingering Souls. But I still don't like 4 copies in this matchup. See, Path to Exile is great. Restoration Angel is great. Flicker Wisp can be great if we see Golgari Charm, which we probably won't because they're on likely Lingering Souls, and the Golgari Charm will kill the Spirit tokens. But if we do see that, or Zealous Persecution, something like that, then I'll take out Flicker Wisp, because it's the 1 toughness is a liability. Otherwise, it's like a really powerful card. So we saw Shambling Vent, so Tech Edge, Life from the Loam is a reasonable option. And we still have these Rest in Peace can come in. I think for bringing in Finks, we have 4 Ooze. We don't really need Rest in Peace as a value card in this matchup. So then it's just between these 2 cards. Bring in a 3rd Finks, so we don't really want to cut a Township, because it's a great combo, Township and Finks. I think we'll just go with this. The Life from the Loam Tech Edge package, that's mostly against like Tron. It has some utility in this matchup, just like it does against Inkmoth Nexus decks, whether it's Affinity or Poison. Because you can just rebuy Ghost Quarters. But I don't know that we definitely want to do that. I mean, it could backfire too if the opponent has a Tarmogoyf. We're trying to dredge cards into our graveyard. The opponent could also have Scavenging Ooze. And if they eat our targets with Life from the Loam, that's just abysmal. So I think there's enough downside to where it's like not an effective card sometimes that I'll just not run it. It certainly has upside though. If you could just start recurring Ghost Quarters and Tech Edges, and just like take them off all their lands, so they're just basically mana screwed for the rest of the game. But it happens pretty slowly. It's 1 land per turn. So I guess we're pretty fortunate last game. We drew 2 copies of Path to Exile for his 2 Rhinos, and that was that's an important card in the matchup. The opponent drew Path to Exile too to kill our guy. So we have our best turn 1 play in the deck. Razorverge Thicket into Ether Vial. It's the ideal opener. There's basically no sense bluffing a Memnite off the Vial for 0. That's why I don't tap it there. So this is kind of interesting. The opponent could have Maelstrom Pulse, which would punish us for playing out all these Vials. But if we don't play a Vial this turn, then they could Abrupt Decay our Vial, and that would be bad for us. So I think... So we could also just play Thalia this turn and keep the opponent from being able to... I don't know what kind of spell they're going to try to cast, though. I think I want to hedge. I want to play one of the Vials and leave the other one in our hand to discard to Liliana later. And we'll play Temple Garden. So there's 2 versions of Green-White Hatebears. One has Flickerwisp Restoration Angel, which is what we're playing. The other one is Loxodon Smiter Wiltleaf Liege. And against Liliana decks, Liliana of the Veil, the Smiter Liege deck is considerably better because they plus it, you just like put either of those creatures onto the battlefield, because when you discard it, you get to play it. So that's, yeah, that's a thing that sometimes happens. Alright. So we could try to ambush block the Tarmogoyf with a surprise Scavenging Ooze. But then if that dies to a removal spell, that could not work out for us. We could play Kitchen Finks. Then I don't even like blocking, because then Finks comes back and they just target it with Liliana. So I don't want to play this Thalia until we deal with that Liliana, because he could just kill it. I think I'll wait and I'll play the Finks next turn. No, we'll just do that ambush play with Scavenging Ooze. Because then, if they try to target the Ooze post-combat with Liliana, then we just eat the Tarmogoyf in response. We have 3 mana on tap to activate it. So basically the opponent has to have a Path to Exile or an Abrupt Decay to not get blown out here. Okay, so they do have it. And I guess we will Ether Graveyard in response. So that shrinks the goif down slightly. Opponent wisely sacks the fetch land now, before we untap with vial on 2. Because then we could arbiter, get him pretty bad. And we did draw arbiter. So Liliana ultimate's at 7, so we can't let that happen. That's priority number 1. Well, we do have some things going for us. Still think we hold this file. I don't want to play this Liliana, or this Thalia again. Same reason, still don't want to just lose it to Lily. If we can get a position where like we have another land, we can end step in the Thalia off the vial, and then on our turn we can activate Township to get it outside of Liliana range. Yep, 'tis a Rhino. Yep. Oh man. So we activate this one, and I was hoping the opponent was going to put us on the Aven Mind Sensor, so it would crack their fetch in response, then in response we could put in a Arbiter. So now I'm in a position where I don't know what I want to do here with this Arbiter. I think I want to hold off. So this one, I'll say yes. This one, I'll say no. And we'll get maximally punished. Alright. This comes in at 3. So if we just left it on 3, then we could have flickered it on the opponent's turn. Or actually just on our end step. And then it would come back on their end step, and then we get to attack it with Flicker Wisp to kill it, so it'd have 3 loyalty. Maybe I didn't think that one all the way through. Well, it's done. Play this, because now I want to take this one up to 3, which means I want this one on 2. Kind of in a not so easy spot right now. Okay, well that was a mistake. Got him anyway. Sure. Yep. So it'll be always no. So yes. Interesting. I mean, we have to deal with this Liliana this turn, so it has to be the Flicker Wisp target. I guess we'll do it on our end step, so it blinks back on the opponent's end step. And then we could go for it with the Blade Splicer, which I think is probably what we're going to do. And on our end step, we say yes. This kind of the battlefield. Target this one. So I guess we're going to flashback souls. Which I'm not going to have a good block later. If we draw a land, though, we can activate Township and trade for 2 spirit tokens. So we're not going to make this trade. Yep. We'll do always no. Okay, so it's still not a land. We're going to attack Liliana. It's going to block with 1 guy, 1 spirit. So we attack with multiple guys. It's kind of awkward. Really need a land. Good path the Rhino. Attack with everyone. We just don't have good attacks. Yeah, I think we just do this. Our clock's running low too. I'm talking too much. So we're basically, the plan is, since they can just Liliana kill our Flicker Wisp, we're just going to play the Thalia on L2, and we just kind of have to draw land. Yep. Alright, we're going to go ahead and do this, because that's going to be part of the plan, almost no matter what. What's happening here? Oh, he's paying 2 for the Arbiter. The opponent was tapped out last turn, wasn't he? Should have done it then. That's bad. Alright, didn't get there. So if we attack everyone at Liliana, lose this guy. attack this guy, this guy, this guy. This guy gets eaten, this guy trades, land takes 2. Alright. Gotta kill this Liliana. Means we lose, yeah, Golem token. Well, there's the township. Not sure how we're gonna win this game now. Okay, so we can Eternal Witness for Path to exile and Path this guy and attack for 10. It's not, well, we can Witness it back. And then Township. 10. Oh, we're just dead. Oh, we have 2 minutes left. Lingering Souls got us. So now that we know they have Grim Flayer as well, this Rest in Peace looks a lot better. Maybe Flicker Wisp isn't great against Lingering Souls tokens, so that might be a reason to take it out. Also have to win quickly. Eternal Witness not great if we're bringing in Rest in Peace. They don't have a lot of targets for this. I'll just bring the Thalia back in. Maybe it's Tech Edge. Yeah, because we want that 5th land, and this one can kill a creature land. It's alright, turbo mode, it's on. Keep. Noble Herrick, that's a mana ability. Still works. Alright. Ooh, that's good. Turbo mode is activated. The opponent concedes. Alright, well, good games.